All right, welcoming you to our chair yoga class for the care of Waldenstroms. We're here with a smaller group today from all over. And I wanted to start our session off this morning with a reading from my friend here and teacher, Pema Chodron. This is the Pocket Pema. And some days when I need inspiration, I just shuffle the pages and point. And very often I get exactly what I need to hear. So I'm going to share today's reading from Pema with you. If you would like to, come to a comfortable seat and maybe feel the connection your body's making with the earth. Maybe you'd like to just relax the shoulders and close the eyes and open up to the wisdom from Pema, who is a Buddhist nun. The path is uncharted, is the heading of this. The path has one distinct characteristic. It is not prefabricated. It doesn't already exist. The path that we're talking about, is the moment by moment evolution of our experience. The moment by moment evolution of the world of phenomena, the moment by moment evolution of our thoughts and our emotions. The path is not Route 66, destination Los Angeles. It's not as if we can take out a map and figure that this year we might make it to Gallup, New Mexico, and maybe by next year we'll be in LA. The path is uncharted. It comes into existence moment by moment, and at the same time drops away behind us. It's like taking a train sitting backward. We can't see where we're headed, only where we've been. This is a very encouraging teaching because it says that the source of wisdom is whatever is going to happen to us today. The source of wisdom is whatever is happening to us right at this very instant. So I love that reading from Pema. The source of the wisdom is right now. So right now, I would love for us to begin with some breathing together, and option to rest a hand on the heart, hand on the belly, or a place where you would feel maybe hands in the lap. Just a little bit of grounding, a little bit of containing. And as I breathe in, I'm feeling the air moving in through my nose. And as I breathe out, feeling the air moving out of my nose or mouth. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. And as I breathe, I can allow my belly to soften, to encourage a fuller breath, an easier breath. And coming into this breath is a fresh opportunity to be present in this moment. Each breath is indeed a gift. So let's see if we can find 5 more gifts, 5 more breaths. And just noticing without judgment how those breaths are feeling for you. And then when you're ready, perhaps you'd like to care for the eyes by taking the glasses off, rubbing the hands together, creating a little kindness, a little compassion, infusing your hands with these things and cupping the palms loosely over the eyes. I'm just rolling my eyes around and giving them a little break from all of the stimulus, maybe setting up my day or finishing my day, wherever you are in the world, just caring for the eyes. And as we care for the eyes, we can also sense that there is another way we take in information that is on a more intuitive level. So perhaps we can kind of open that up. Sometimes we call this the third eye, this sort of place of just knowing things. And I'm going to eventually just bring my hands down and perhaps massage any parts of my face that need a little support. Maybe it's the jawline or the brow, or you might feel really good just continuing to rest the eyes. I'm going to just turn the AC up a little bit. It's starting to heat up in my space. It's a nice hot one here. Wonderful. And then let's go ahead and move the head and neck a bit. So I'll take my hands to my lap or down at my sides, taking my glasses back on if I would like to. And I'm just going to tilt the head from side to side, allowing both shoulders to rest and be soft as I do this. It could be a very gentle motion, especially if you're caring for neck issues. And I'm going to find my breath, breathing in at the center and breathing out to the side. One more on each side. You got it. And then I'll go ahead and just roll my shoulders up, back, and down. I'm noticing, does one shoulder feel different? Am I hearing any cricking and cracking? And then I'll reach up and create a little lattice space for my space of my skull, so interlacing the fingers behind the base of my skull. And I'm just going to really gently push my head back into my hands. So I'm turning on these neck muscles at the front. And then as I release, I might take a breath in. As I exhale, I'm going to push that head back. You've got it. Breathing in, releasing, breathing out. Pushing, and maybe taking one more like that. And then we'll just swish out the hands a little bit, shake out the hands, and bring those hands again to, this time, the forehead. So just bringing my hands to my forehead, and very, very gently, it doesn't have to be a lot of effort, pushing the head into the hands, and then releasing. Just a little tiny push. So you can feel just the neck muscles working. Arms are not working. Good. And maybe one more. So taking care of the head and neck today. And then we'll take the hands to frame the cheekbones. And I'm just going to press my head into my hand. You won't even be able to see it. From side to side. So I'm not tilting. I'm just very, very gently, lots of muscles in the neck that I'm caring for right now, strengthening. And sometimes strengthening the muscles can actually help relax them. We'll take one more on each side. And then we'll just bring the arms down at the sides and shrug those shoulders again. And I'll share one of my favorite neck stretches that helps stretch the muscles in the front of the neck. So I'm going to take my left hand to my right collarbone, and I'm just going to do a little downward motion on top of that right collarbone. I'll bring my right hand on top, and I'm going to lift my chin up and to the left just a little bit. So I feel that stretch in the front right side of my neck. Taking a breath. And then releasing, and I might do a few little pulses of this and see how it feels. And if I'm feeling any discomfort or pain, I'll just move away from it. Good, and now let's hit the other side. So I'm going to take my right hand and just sort of flush that left collarbone down. Rest the left hand on top. Look up a little bit and to the left. And I might turn my chin up to the left a little bit as well. And coming out of it, and just doing a few little gentle pulses of this with my breath flowing. Not a part of the body we tend to stretch at all. No. Good. I'm glad that works for you, Catherine. Okay, and one last time, shrugging those shoulders. And we'll open the arms out to the sides and bring those arms back. Lift the heart. So I'm arching my back, welcoming whatever is coming on this uncharted path. I'm breathing in. And as I exhale, I'm going to interlace my fingers and pull the arms away from my body. So I'm creating a little space in my upper back. I'm not necessarily rounding my back. Breathing in, opening wide, arching the back. Here I am, just going along my road. And caring for myself along the way is what I can do. We'll take one more. Big breath in, opening wide. Interlace and pull. Good. And then I'll sit up from here and let the arms rest down at my sides. Letting the arms rest down at my sides and slowly bringing the arms up halfway and then floating them back down. So if at any time, Jean, you feel like you want to come up a little higher in your seat, that's available to you. Got a nice wingspan. Breathing in, maybe the arms come a little higher. Breathing out, floating the arms down. So we're just turning on some muscles here in the arms, shoulders as we breathe in, breathe out. Each time, maybe we travel up a little farther. Got it. And this time we'll go all the way and bring the hands through to heart center. And we'll take 3 more arm salutes. Breathing in, arms rise. Breathing out, hands to heart center. Doing this at my own pace. Feeling that connection my body's making with the earth. And just staying present in my body. And I'll go ahead and interlace my fingers and give my hands a squeeze. Juice up the hands a little bit. Maybe you'd like to try pushing the palms away. And then I'll do a little bit of hand care. So I'm going to take a fist and I'm going to really squeeze that fist tight. And then I'm going to open my fingers as wide as I can. So I'll do that a few times, squeezing the fist as tight as I can, and then opening. And last one. Beautiful. And then I'll just shake it out from there and release my arms down at my sides and take my right arm out to the right and just tilt my left ear away from the shoulder and circle that palm. So taking little tiny circles, moving those circles down. And eventually I'm going to bring that arm behind my back or rest the hand on a hip. Maybe I spin my chin down towards that left shoulder. And I'm just letting both shoulders soften as I take a few breaths here. Letting time do the work. And then coming back and switching sides, that left arm out to the left, tilting the right arm, the head towards the right shoulder, and circling the palm. Easy, circles, easy breaths, moving the arm ever downward, just little by little. And eventually you might want to bring the hand behind the back and spin the chin down. So I'm peeking at my left shoulder or right shoulder, and I'm letting both shoulders. So taking a peek down at that right shoulder and letting both shoulders relax. And coming back up to center. All right. So I'm feeling like I want to actually stand. So normally we would do like a whole everything warm up, but today I feel like we need to stand up. If you're someone who would like to remain seated, that is completely fine. But I would like to stand. I might take a sip of water. Glug, glug. I'm going to come to stand somewhere where I have support. And I'm just waiting for the sun to creep across this room. I have a screen up, but I'm not sure it's going to do anything. So I'm going to get to the standing stuff before the sun hits me. That's my goal here. So standing or seated, I'm going to work with my toes for a moment. Maybe my toes respond, maybe they don't. I could even look down at my toes. And I'm going to try picking all 10 toes up, spreading them wide, and digging them back down. So I'm picking all 10 toes up, maybe, spreading them as wide as I can, and digging them back down as if into sand. Doing that a couple more times. Really individuating the toes as best we can. And this is the foundation, of course, of our balance, or one of the foundations. And I might take one more, spread the toes, and dig them back down. And then from here, I'm going to sink down into my knees a little bit and bring my hips back. And we're just going to do some whole body movements to get this warmed up. I'm going to bring my arms down at my sides. As I inhale, I'm going to straighten my legs and lift the arms up. As I exhale, I'm going to sink back down. Arms behind me. Breathing in, arms rise. Breathing out, sink down, arms back. Just doing this at your own pace. Maybe when you come up next time, there's a little bit of an arch to your back, even though the legs are remaining strong. And we could take maybe 2 or 3 more of these, chair pulses I call them. A really great way to just warm up the whole body. And last one. All right, with a nice wide stance, I'm going to circle my hips. And if you're seated, you can circle the torso. The hips are moving forward, to the side, to the back. Loosening up the hips like I have a hula hoop around me. One that will never fall. And then I'm moving in the other direction. And I'll bring both arms down at my sides and work with some side bending. Lifting that right arm up and over. And as I lift that right arm up and over, my left arm is relaxed, even dangling a little bit. Coming back to center, right arm or left arm reaching up, right arm relaxing. Breathing in, right arm reach, left arm relax. Just doing what feels best for you. If this is too much, you can skip it. And I'm looking for extension rather than a super big side bend. I can really feel that my body needs this every day. You got it. And then I'll bring my arms out to the sides, and I'm going to let my hips be loose, let my legs be loose, and I'm just going to twist my torso from side to side. And I actually might keep my gaze forward so that I'm getting a little neck stretch as well. And also that helps with my balance, really. Like if you see the way a ballerina does a twirl, they will keep the head kind of looking consistently at one thing as possible to help with not getting dizzy. One more on each side. All right, and then we'll come back and just take a regular stance here. I'm going to come up onto my tiptoes as slowly as I can. And remember, those toes have been individuated. And then I'm going to softly float down as slowly as I can. And I'm going to do this 10 times today. I want 10 tiptoe floats. And if you feel like you want to involve the arms, that's an option. Maybe it's one arm, maybe it's both arms lifting up a little bit or all the way. Slowly as I can go. And if I fall out of it, that's fine. I want to just show up in whatever state I'm in today. So about 4 more. And maybe there's a place you can gaze that's a little farther away. And you can take in all of the peripheral vision of what's around you, including the floor. All right. And then whether I'm seated or standing, I'm going to walk it out. Could march in place. Opposite arm, opposite leg. My core remains stable. I'm taking in what I can take in with my vision. What's underneath me, what's to the sides of me, what's in front of me. And then I'll slowly begin to slow this down. So I'm standing on one leg a little bit longer, going to your own comfort level here. Beautiful. One more on each side. You got it, Sarah. All right. And then let's go ahead and practice our crane pose. This is something that we learned in Tai Chi, and we're going to add the chair pulse along with the tiptoe float and the crane, but let's do just the crane first. So the crane is an arm movement. It starts with the hands at the sides and the fingertips lifted up. And as we come up, the fingers spread wide. As we come up higher, we bring the thumb to all the fingers. And then we float our way back down, widening the hand, and then tilting up. So it's a breath in and a breath out. And you can move at whatever pace feels right for you, and you can find the breath cycle that works for you. As far up as you want to go with those arms. Maybe one more like that. Okay, now this time I'm going to come up with my arms, and as I come down with my arms, I'm going to sink down into my chair. I'm going to breathe in and float my arms out and up into my crane. As I breathe out, I'm bringing the arms out and down, and I'm sinking into my chair. One more like this. And now we'll optionally add, as we inhale, we're coming up onto the tiptoes, and then we're coming down and sinking down into our chairs. Whole body motion, lots of new neural pathways being made with this new motion, putting it all together. And as our teacher Rami says, don't just do the crane, be the crane. For maybe one more. You got it. Awesome, friends. All right, and then I'm just going to walk it out again, maybe take a little sip of water if I need it, and then we'll move into some more classic yoga shapes. All right, taking my right foot forward and my left foot back for warrior one. Sinking into my right knee and noticing what my pelvic bowl is doing. Is it really spilling forward out the front? Could I maybe tip it back just a little bit? Could I squeeze my left glute muscle? And I could do anything I want here to feel more stable, whatever feels good to you. And then from here I could bring my hands to heart center and just find a place to gaze that's far away. Rest your gaze on one thing. We call it a drishti in yoga. And that is your focus point. And you can tuck the chin a little bit and feel that crown of the head pulling you high. Maybe one more breath in this nice, solid, stable warrior one. You got it. Bringing the hands to the hips. I'm going to shorten my stance. And I've got my chair here. So I could fold forward and bring my forearms onto my chair. Or I could keep my hands on my hips and just lead with my heart. Right? So those are some options. Maybe you would like to grab opposite elbow behind the back, and that really helps keep us leading with the heart. I'm tucking my chin. That's good, Sarah. One more breath. And then coming up out of this. Coming up out of this, I'm just going to step up and switch sides. I've got my left foot forward. Create a nice wide base. If you felt wobbly on the first side, walk that left foot to the left and sink into that left knee. And our hips are meant to be pointing forward for this pose. And that might mean your right foot wants to come a little bit more pointed towards the top. So I'm sinking into that left knee. I'm squeezing my right glute. My pelvic bowl is tipping back a little bit. Finding my drishti. Finding my breath. The path is uncharted. And the wisdom is in this moment. And sometimes the moment says, I don't know a single thing. And that would be the wisdom for the moment. I don't know. When you're ready to come to our second posture, you can take the hands to the hips, shorten the stance, and with a nice flat back, I'm folding forward. Maybe I keep my hands on my hips. I could rest my forearms on my chair. I could rest the hands on my back or grab opposite elbows. I'm not pushing through pain or discomfort, but I want to care for my neck by tucking my chin. And then I'll slowly make my way up. And this time I will use my chair to step back to a downward dog. If I'm seated, I could do a forward fold. But here I have my hands on the back of my chair. I could use, if I want to get down and do a full downward dog on my mat, and that's something I'm comfortable with, I could do that. But anyway you're practicing, you want to feel some stretch in the back of your legs and some space in the spine. You got it. You guys are on fire today. Come on up nice and slow. Walk it out. Take a sip. And then I'm coming back to my mat and finding my balance posture here. So working with flamingo, standing on one leg, holding onto my chair. I'll bring the weight over to my right foot, and I'm lifting up my left leg, and I might hug the leg towards the other leg so I have one solid tree trunk. And I'm using all the muscles I can here, like my glute muscle, my core muscle. And I might be holding onto my chair, or maybe my arms are out to the sides. And again, I'm taking in all that I can see. The floor, the room around me. And if this is really, really easy for you, you could try closing the eyes. That's good. So we're staying in our flamingo pose for, maybe 30 seconds. And then we're releasing it. And we're going to work up to tree. So I'm starting with that, just standing on one leg. But if you're, really have an advanced or you're a regular yoga practitioner, you can do two tree poses. So the other side of flamingo, just standing on one leg, I'm going to take my weight into my left foot. Little bendy bounce. Pick up that right leg, hug it in, zip everything up, use all those muscles, distributing the effort. And I'm softening where I can soften. And noticing, is my balance better earlier in the day? So turn on that peripheral vision. I'm seeing the floor underneath me. And gold stars if you wobble out of it. This is your edge. This is where you make the gains. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick it out. Okay, so between sides, between flamingo and tree, because that's a lot, we're going to do a set of side bending. So I'll take my wider stance, and maybe it's even a little wider than what I did at the very beginning. I'm lifting that right arm up and over, and letting the left arm really swing and relax and dangle. Coming back, left arm lift, and letting that right shoulder relax and dangle. And as I do this, I'm feeling the line from the blade edge of that right foot to the fingertip. It's one extended, strong line, lifting me up. Switching when you're ready to switch, reaching. And then I'll come back to center, and I'm just going to lean forward a little bit and let both arms dangle. Let both arms completely dangle, and rather than a wide-legged forward fold here, I'm going to keep my head lifted and just let my arms swing. So the arms are really inert. And my body is doing the work of making my arms dangle. And then if you like, you could keep doing this, or you could let the hands come down the legs and do a little wide-legged forward fold. It looks like some of you are already wanting to do that, so far be it from me to keep you from your path. Maybe it's a wide-legged forward fold. You'd like to just explore that. There could be a soft bend to the knees. I'm not rounding my back. I'm tucking my chin. And as I come up, I'm coming up very gently. All right. And now we'll tackle our tree pose. So I might roll my wrists a little bit between sides. I'm going to notice my feet, my toes. So this turned into more of a gentle mat yoga class today than a chair yoga class, just based on who has shown up and what you're, seems like you're interested in doing. We will wind down soon though, I promise. So let's do that weight in the right foot. I'm going to lift my left heel up off the earth and just bring my left knee out to the side. I'm holding onto my chair if I need it. And then I could keep my toe on the earth, or I could bring it up onto my calf, or maybe I manually tuck the foot up a little higher. I'm not going to push myself through any pain or discomfort here, right? So doing what feels best for you. That's beautiful, Janet. I'm zipping my core up, I'm using all of my muscles, and maybe my hands are coming to heart center, even if it's just for a millisecond. And then I place that hand back on the chair. Crown of the head lifting into the heavens. 2 more breaths. You've got it, Pat. You come out of it, walk it out. Yeah, and when you're ready to come out of it, beautiful, walk it out. You definitely see that strong, consistent practice pays off. A lot of us seeing your balance improve over the years that you've been doing this. So let's switch sides. Little bendy bounce, weight in the left foot. I'm going to pick up my right heel, open the knee to the side. This might be where I stay. Or I'll work the foot up somewhere, and this side could feel different, so just honoring that. Finding what feels best for me. Working towards finding my edge. Right, and if I feel like a leaning tower of Pisa here, I'm going to really try to zip up my core and use that left glute muscle to stabilize the hip. You've got it. When you fall out of it, that's time to be done with the pose. Okay? And we'll all release that now and kick it out. And we'll take one more little set of hip circles. Maybe you go a little farther, a little wider with this set. Maybe you're seated and you're doing a torso circle. And then I will get ready to sit. And on my way to sitting, always an opportunity to transition mindfully and maybe take a slow chair pose. Hands to heart center. I can feel the chair at the back of my knees. I'm going to bring my hips back and pull my belly towards my spine. And every exhale, I'm going to sink a little bit deeper into my chair, knowing the chair is there. Make sure that chair is there. And if you feel nervous about this, you can reach back with the hand and just check. And if you have knee issues, you can skip over this one. And eventually I'm coming to sit. Last one, sitting wins. Nice, guys. And if you're sitting on the earth, that is a really far way to go. So we'll cross that right ankle over the left knee. And if you're, you can lay down and do this one if you like, Jean, or anybody who's on a mat. You can bend the knees and cross that right ankle over the left knee. Yeah, and then you're hugging it in or For us seated in the chair, we're just leaning forward a little bit and finding that hip stretch. Let's see if we can take 3 breaths here. Soften where you can soften, like the shoulders and the jaw. And then sitting up, we'll cross the knee over. So go ahead, and if you are laying on the earth, you can still have the right knee on top of the left. And we're taking the knees are nestling, right? So that right knee is on top of the left, knees are nestling, and you're going to let the knees drop. Or if you're seated, that's right. If you're seated, you're going to twist the torso to the right. That's beautiful. That right arm can reach out to the right if you're laying on the earth. It's a big stretch for the spine. You got it, Marnie. Beautiful. And we'll slowly come back to center and switch sides. Left ankle over the right knee. Hug it in if you're lying on the earth, or simply reach forward with the heart if you're seated. So we're getting the hip stretch first here, or doing whatever feels best. Softening where I can soften. When I'm ready, I'll move into my twist. Nestling that left knee on top of the right and twisting my body to the left. Coming back, making any other movements. The body's asking for any other little motions perhaps you feel like we didn't get to today, before we close with another little meditation. So finding a way to sit or recline, whatever would feel good. And I will just reread some of the passage that I read at the beginning, so this really gets kind of nestled into your being. So taking a breath in and a breath out, I can allow myself to sink into the support below. Just nestling into this moment and this breath. Rereading this beautiful passage from Pema Chodron. The path is uncharted. The path is not Route 66, destination Los Angeles. It's not as if we can take out a map and figure that this year we might make it to Gallup, New Mexico, and maybe by next year we'll be in LA. The path is uncharted. It comes into existence moment by moment, and at the same time drops away behind us. It's like riding a train, sitting backward. We can't see where we're headed, only where we've been. This is a very encouraging teaching, because it says that the source of wisdom is whatever is going to happen to us today. The source of wisdom is whatever is happening to us right at this very instant. So taking a few moments here to open yourself up to your own inner wisdom. And we'll take 5 more breaths. Noticing how your breath feels compared to the beginning. And then beginning to come out of your meditation, your reclining, your relaxation, blinking the eyes open, making little movements, licking the lips, swallowing, taking the hands to heart center, and I'll close our session today with the sound of 1 Om and 3 Shantis. Shanti means peace. Feel free to join in where you are or just listen. Breathing in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And thanking you so much for your practice today, friends. Namaste.